Today on The Grid, our topic is inspired by a terrific article over on fstoppers.com titled, What is Your Unpopular Photography Opinion? We have some thoughts of our own, and of course, we want to hear yours as well. Erik, the K-Man, Kuna Man, Rocket Man is here, and as always, we're giving away some cool prizes, and it all starts when? In just 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full-frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com.
And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X. Power in all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby. Joining me is Erik the K-Man, Kuna Man, Rocket Man, Kuna.
Yeah, hey guys.
How are you, Erik?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm quite good. We have Christina joining us. She is over on the chat. Juan is in the house. Jason's in the studio. Ron's on the internet playing games. And we got a great show for you today. So our topic today is inspired by an article I read a couple of days ago on f-stoppers, and it is a very cool article. It is called.
It's a great article, yeah.
Yeah, let me get it right here. It is called "What is Your Unpopular Photography Opinion?" Here are 29 from industry pros, and they listed. First, the author is Robert K. Baggs. Good job, Robert. I think this is a great article. It got a lot of comments and a lot of interest, and I'll tell you this, I agree with most of them, not all of them, and some I just agree in varying things.
But partial agreement.
Yeah, so we're going to look at those. We're going to look at those today. We're going to get a quick look at some of theirs, and then we have some of our own that I would love to add, and then, of course, we want to hear what yours are.
Yeah, that's really what we want to do. We want to hear, like, what you guys think. What is that unpopular opinion that, you hear all the time?
And if you're wondering what that means, when we read a few of theirs, you're going to go,
be like, oh, yeah.
Actually, I'll read a couple to get us going, and then we'll get a little further into it. Okay, so, for example, they wrote, this one's, I'm going to read it. This is the one, it's a little naughty, but it's kind of so on the money that I'm going to say it.
I know, it's going to be about film.
Yeah, it says, number 3,
I remember this
shooting film in the digital age is photographic masturbation. It may be self-gratifying, but it doesn't do anything for anyone else. I'm with that one. I'm down with it. I am 100% on that one.
I see that all the time, too.
Let's see. Most photographers call it fashion when the subject is wearing clothes, any clothes. So, and I agree with this one 100% because I see a lot of people that are shooting what would technically be called glamour. So you're just shooting a pretty girl.
Yeah, that's not fashion.
That's not fashion. Fashion is about the clothing. Fashion is we are shooting the clothing. Like the star of the show is the clothing, right? And that's what you're shooting, and you light it differently, and it's got a different sensibility to it. It's a different genre than just glamour or portraits or whatever. So, and a lot of people just call it fashion, and you look at the picture, that's not fashion. Especially the less clothes they have, the least it is fashion.
Yeah, like number 16 here where it says, Photoshop is the most valuable talent of a modern photographer. That's one of those things that, a lot of people, I don't use Photoshop. And it's like,
Number 17, if you can't create consistently high quality work, you're not a good photographer. If you just get lucky once in a while, you're just somebody that gets lucky once in a while. So there's just a lot of that stuff. I love number 21. Claiming to be a natural light only photographer is almost always just a cover for being unwilling or unable to work with artificial light.
Yep.
I've said that forever.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with all of them, but a lot of these are really good. Here's another good one. And now this one says, and this is from an industry pro. Now, what I thought that the author of this article, Robert Baggs, did, I thought it was really great, was he didn't say who said what. because he wanted it to be about what their ideas were, not about who said them.
Yeah,
Because you might look and
that's
say,
happen.
that guy, I don't like him, but he wanted you to not, number one, attack the people saying it, so don't attack me and Erik. And number two is don't get lost in who said it rather than what was said. And one that they said here that I just saw a moment ago, where was it? This is one I do not agree with. It said colors from Sony cameras are horrible.
Yeah.
Now, I think the best thing that Canon does, forget like sensor depth and pixel peeping and all, colors,
yeah.
Especially for portraits from a Canon camera, I think are far and away the best.
That's coming from two Canon shooters there.
Right, but I can also say as a Canon shooter, I think Nikons are very nicely tuned for landscape. Yeah. If I was a landscape shooter, I think that the
that
color
D850 is so cool.
Is a great landscape camera. Yeah. So I mean, I've used a lot of different cameras and all, and so because I'm not sponsored by any camera company, I can say, hey, I think Nikon's great.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing. I'll shoot with the Canon, I'll shoot with the Nikon, I'll shoot with the Sony. But
Erik
at the end of the day,
with everything.
End of the day, the Canon has the best color, in my opinion.
But I do not agree with the sentence.
Yeah, that's not horrible.
Colors from Sony cameras are horrible.
It's not horrible.
This person, you may not like them.
Yeah. But
that is, I don't think that's correct. No, but anyway, I agreed with a lot of them.
From a Sony.
Here's another one I really think is awesome. Work should only be judged on the quality of the final image. The process is a means to an end, but using an artificially difficult process to produce a subpar image does not make you better.
Yeah, if you're having to over-explain the process in which you went through to justify why your picture is not perfect,
you're having to use
that's the problem.
Because I've seen people go out and use like old view cameras and all this they go through all this awful stuff, and you look at their picture and you're like, I don't know, you could have done it with my iPhone. Yeah. So because it's hard doesn't make you and archaic and weird, it doesn't make it any better. Anyway, there's a lot of good one here. Here's a good one. Not using post-processing such as Photoshop is not a high ground. It's a choice to sacrifice your quality because you're lazy.
Yeah, and that's like going back to like the artificial light one. It's the same thing. You're saying, I don't want to learn a tool, so I'm going to like use that as like I only do this. I only do that.
I don't know how to use flash, so I'm a natural light photographer only.
Yeah, you got to really look at when you're saying that statement. Yeah, are you like a master at flash too, and you've decided to only be a natural light?
Come on, find me that person.
They're not out there.
He's right. He is 100%. You're not going to find someone who says, I'm really brilliant at flash and I can control it and make it look fantastic and beautiful.
But I gave it all up.
But I gave it up. I chose to
threw it all away.
I choose not to run. Sorry.
Or anybody who's like a master at Photoshop.
I'm a master at Photoshop.
You know what? I am just gonna take the image right off the sensor. Forget it.
Yep.
I'm a master at Photoshop.
By the way, one of Erik's pet peeves, one of Erik's ones.
I did write that down. Yeah.
He's got one that goes along those lines.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the ones that really whenever somebody the people have got to stop using the term straight out of camera or no post. Like they'll post an image and they'll go, this is straight out of camera, no post. It's that whole thing of you're just saying like, I don't know how to post-process my image. I don't know what I should do with this raw file, or I only use JPEG and I don't want to touch it.
But you're hiding behind, look how awesome it is.
Oh, that's another thing,
I didn't use any post. Come on, this is how good I am. Look how amazing I am with these photos.
And I just look at those photos and go, wow, if you took it into Lightroom, if you took it into Photoshop, it'd be a lot better. It would be.
All right. Well, that's just to get us going so you guys will know kind of where the article's coming from. And my hat's off to F-Stoppers. I love F-Stoppers' site. But Robert K. Baggs, I think he came up with a very clever topic, and it inspired our topic today. So hats off and a tip of the hat to the folks at F-Stoppers. Hey, I just want to mention a couple of things real quickly. First off, I got 3 little bits of news. Bit of news number 1. My Paris workshop is sold out. The last spot is gone.
There you go.
But if you want to go to Paris and attend an amazing workshop, Serge Remeli, who is a Kelby 1 instructor, but also a very French man. Serge is, here I got his site up here. Serge is a Parisian. He's lived in Paris his whole life. And he is, if there's anybody that you want to learn where to go in Paris, it's a guy that lived there and shot there his whole life. And I was lucky enough to spend about a week with Serge Well, actually, I did it twice.
Yeah.
I did it twice. I did it. I got to tape a class with Serge. Where first time I met Serge, we basically we hired him to be our photo guru.
Yeah, he was our producer.
He was our producer in Paris, and
Yeah.
he took us everywhere and arranged all the things that we needed done. And he did a marvelous job, and we became friends.
He got us
during
in
the process.
everything. He got us out of the cops, trouble with the cops about 3 times.
Got us out of trouble with the cops numerous times. And my wife and I went back and wound up spending time with him and his wife and family. And he has a wonderful family. But he's got a workshop coming up this month. It is. I have the dates here. Hang on. It's the 14th. The dates are on here somewhere. Hang on. It's the 14th and
through the 18th.
Through the 18th.
Right there.
14th through the 18th. It's in Paris. I'm telling you guys, if you can go, you will have a marvelous, marvelous time. So go do it. Go check it out, and go to Photo Surge. So it's PHOTOSERGE.com. And grab one of his last spots, and I guarantee you'll have a great time. His post-processing is out of this world. His shooting techniques are great, and he knows every great restaurant in Paris you will have. In fact, when I was planning my Paris workshop, I called Serge to get some restaurant advice. Hotel. I'm staying at the hotel that Serge recommended because he's done his workshops at the same hotel and the location, and they've been wonderful to work with. They've been great. So.
And
Photo
Serge unapologetically does sky replacements.
Yes, he does. And he does them well.
Does them very well.
All right. Hey, we got some hellos and shout outs here.
Yeah, we got Nick. Nick saying good evening from London. So we got Esther saying hey from California. And then we got Diane from San Diego. Kim saying hey all. We got Elma from South Africa.
All right.
So yeah, there you go. And then we got Mark from Minnesota. And speaking of, you'll be in Minnesota next
I'll be in Minnesota
week.
next week. Yeah. Hey, I'll be in Minneapolis with my brand new tour called the Ultimate Photoshop. No, not Ultimate Photoshop. Ultimate Photography Crash Course. I'm going to have a packed house in both Indy and Minneapolis.
We're almost sold out.
We're almost sold out. So if you want to go to kelby1live.com. Tuesday, I'm in Indianapolis. Thursday, I'm in Minneapolis.
Yep.
And there's some places I want to shoot too. There's a church I want to shoot in Minneapolis, and I found that you can just go to their PR, and they'll give you a photo permit to shoot.
Awesome.
So I'm going to contact them.
So, and then we got Rose tuning in from New Zealand. Hey, Rose. And then we got Joe saying hey from
Rose.
Houston. And we got a bunch of other people in the comments. Yeah. So if you got something that you're like, what was the root question was unpopular photography opinion. If you've got one of those things that's, it's an unpopular photography opinion, just we'd love to hear it in the comments.
They're coming in right now.
Yeah. So maybe you want to take one?
Sure. I'll take Christian's. Christian says, master of Photoshop doesn't make you a better photographer. It does not. What it does, it makes your it makes your photographs better. If you're a master of Photoshop, your pictures will look better than people who are not. It is a part of the process today, Christian. It is not something that you can. And so I mean.
And when you're saying Photoshop, there's other tools that do what Photoshop does, processing.
Yeah, it just means post-processing. So Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever. But don't fool yourself into thinking that your images are going to look as good as the next guy's, because the next guy is good at Photoshop.
Yes.
Maybe you're not, but the next guy is, and you've got, if you want to compete today, you have to use the tools that people use to make great photos today.
With that said, there's that other side of it of being a master at Photoshop and not being a good photographer will not make your image better.
No.
You have to have the basics of the photography. You got to have a great image to start with. If you start with a crap image, you're only going to make a crap image look a little better.
Put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. You're
at the end of the day, it's still a pig. So, but here's the thing.
But that's I'm 100%.
I've said this 100 times.
100%.
Photoshop will take a really good picture and make it great. It'll take a great picture and make it look amazing.
Yep.
It will not take a bad photo and make it good.
Yes.
That doesn't work. You have to start with a good photo. But saying that Photoshop won't make you a good photographer is like saying a really good lens won't make you a good photographer. Nope, that won't do it either. There's no piece of gear that will make you a good photographer. It's not a Leica. It's not a Hasselblad. None of them will make you a good photographer.
Not a medium format.
None of that will make you a good photographer. They have a great medium format comment.
Just need one.
Right. Here, I got it. I got the medium format comment on here. Medium format, and this is from F-Stoppers. Medium format cameras are completely overhyped. You'll almost always produce better quality images with full frame and with the right lenses.
And then start up everybody who's thought about a medium format.
All right. Hey,
All right.
What else? We got Mark Heaps. Hi, Mark. Good to see Mark's name in here today.
Yeah, Mark says, my least favorite. Shooting for straight out of camera means you're more talented or better in some way.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's like you're trying
like
to go.
It's just a
Look what I did. You all are using the crutch of Photoshop, and look how good I am. Oh, here's another one, Curtis. I am so with you. I used to talk about this on my on my Shoot Like a Pro tour, and that's it. So the unpopular opinion, or
this is a really unpopular opinion.
The best photographers only use manual mode. Dude, I see people write about it on their forum posts like that it's a badge of honor.
No, it's not.
So you know what I did in my tour, on my Shoot Like a Pro tour?
Yeah.
I brought up all these pictures, and I said, some of these were shot in aperture priority. Some were shot in program mode.
Right.
Some were shot in manual mode. Okay, you guys pick which ones are which. Of course, nobody could tell you what the hell mode. What does it matter? You use the mode that works for you.
The mode that works to get the picture that you intend to get.
Right. It doesn't I use manual, so all my pictures look better. No, they don't.
No.
No one even knows there's no way to tell what you chose.
There's certain times where manual is a preferred method, but that doesn't mean that it's the only method.
Hey, Jack's got a good one here. Jack's got a great comment.
Yeah. So Jack's saying, when someone asks you what kind of camera you use, but what they are really thinking, if I had that camera, I'd take great photos too.
Yeah.
That is so true. Like, so many people do that where they're like, they're really just
what
asking
kind of camera do you have?
They're asking you the type of camera you have just to kind of go, well, if I had that camera.
Yeah, the reason I can't take those pictures is I don't have a 1DX Mark II, or I don't have a Sony, A7.
I've been shooting lately with I got a Rebel XT, and I've got a 1DS, the first Canon that was ever made, digital, and it's working just fine.
Hey, Yusuf is here from Malta. Malta's in the house. Jennifer from Austria, Matthias from Sweden, and Debbie from Indiana.
Speaking
Debbie,
of Indiana,
are you coming to my seminar next week? It's in
KelbyOneLive.com.
Just come to Indy. I love Indianapolis. It's one of my favorite cities I get to go to.
You got a great restaurant there too, right?
We do have a great restaurant there. Mimi's Blue Meatballs is amazing.
So if you're in Indianapolis and you hang out at Mimi's Blue Meatballs, you'll probably see Scott.
I got some buddies who are gonna there. There it is at the Indiana Convention Center and Lucas Oil Stadium. I'll be in the stadium. There'll be 60,000 people at my seminar.
Yeah, we're almost sold out.
Almost sold out at 60,000 people. More people than for a Colts game. No, I'm just kidding. I'm making this up. Anyway, but there will be hundreds of people there. That's good. So go Kelby One Live and sign up. When we come back, we are going to dig in a little deeper. We really want to hear your comments. These are great ones. We got great comments from folks today. Also, if you make a comment, you're entered to win some of our prizes today, like a Platypod Max and a new book and all kinds of fun stuff. We'll be talking about that after the break.
I found that there are common questions that come up in how to start a sports photography business. Not just how to take the pictures, but how to do the business of it in order to get published and hopefully make a career out of it and be paid. And we'd bring an audience in and they would ask their questions. I will answer them and we will see if we can get to the bottom of how to make a living in sports photography. I think what the audience will get out of this class is a better understanding of sort of the progressions from shooting like youth to high school to college to the pros, and then actually starting to use some lighting as well and move into the commercial sector of the industry. There's a repetitive pathway in all of this that I think will be very valuable to people in learning how to better conduct their business or even start a business in sports photography. Come join me at my new class on KelbyOne.com.
When you need a tripod that is compact, that is portable enough to take with you anywhere, one that is adaptable to any situation, that will prove versatile enough for any shoot, and is compatible with your other gear, giving you freedom to create your own perspective. Look no further. Platypod Ultra does it all. Visit platypod.com for more info.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Totally.
Hey, folks, Scott Kelby here with Erik Kuna. We are back, and a couple of things. I wanted to mention something.
We got giveaways. Yeah, so this week we're giving away a Platypod Max. You guys can win a Max.
This is what you're going to put your camera and your ball head on instead of a tripod so you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, so you just saw that commercial on it?
Yeah, so you can go put it in places that nobody knows about. Secret places.
And then take straight out of camera. And then we got the
we at the bottom of my book.
The landscape book here.
Hey, my landscape, it's coming out like next week, I think, right?
Yeah.
So this is it. What's on the front of it? Did something get on the it's that.
Yep.
You're seeing that. Here.
I'm messing stuff up.
Now you can put it on there. All right, anyway.
There you go.
All right, so this is my brand new book, the landscape photography book. It has not come out yet. Somebody wrote an in-depth review though on Amazon. They wrote it they wrote a review like you'd see in a magazine, and that was great. So thank you. But anyway, it comes out in print next week, and it has massive pre-orders, like the biggest pre-orders of any book I've written in years. I hope you'll go and pick it up. It's called the Landscape Photography Book.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. What else? I bought a new camera today.
Sony, right?
Nope. I finally pulled the trigger and bought a Canon EOS R mirrorless today.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the control ring with the dial, the control dial. So I have the adapter to use my current lenses. And I have, and I got a memory card for good price. Anyway, thank you, B&H Photo. I got a good deal. Of course, you always get a good deal. My friends at B&H
can't wait for it to come in.
I got it. I can't wait any longer. I can't go to Paris and not have an EOS R.
I can't wait for you to get it because I'll be taking it.
I know you will.
Hey, I need to borrow that EOS R.
You need to get that EOS R. Anyway, I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to get it. It'll be here in a couple of days. And then I could not go to Paris and not take it. I just had it on the carrier, and I'm like, you know what? I freaking love this camera.
The camera is awesome.
And you know what? Everybody
for a
I
Canon
know.
user.
So listen, everybody I know that has an EOS R absolutely loves it. I have not talked to a certain person that doesn't go, I just love this camera. It's just, reviewers are what they are. Okay.
We know that. And speaking of unpopular opinions, right?
Here we go. We got some good ones,
so
folks.
Tammy's got a good one here.
Yo,
so Tammy's saying, also, the more megapixels, the better.
Tammy, I'm with you. You know what?
I'm so with you.
I think, what are we talking about? 24 megapixels?
We were talking about this. We were talking about this unrelated, we were saying that we would be fine in 24 megapixel land.
Yeah,
like,
I don't need to go any higher.
That's like, and what's the EOS R? I think it's 30.
It's 30, like 30.2
so
or something.
It's a little. I mean, but seriously, right in that 24, that's you can crop in a little bit if you miss something that you didn't nail straight out of the camera.
You have plenty of resolution if you need to crop in.
Yep.
And you know what else? So there's a downside to all of these high megapixel things. Number one, it eats up your memory card faster. It eats up your desktop space faster. It eats up whatever you're storing stuff on.
You can't shoot as fast.
You can't shoot as fast.
Buffer.
But also, Photoshop is way slower on big files.
Oh yeah.
Lightroom is not as bad, but Photoshop you really feel the hit when you do those.
So I guess if you were a straight out of camera shooter, you'd be fine with the 50 megapixel file.
I heard you. Anyway, good comment, Tammy. And Michelle's got a good
awesome.
One.
Yeah, Michelle's, this one's great too. Full frame is the only kind of camera you should get.
I'm with you, Michelle. You know what? Some of the greatest pictures that have ever been taken on crop sensor cameras. There's not a dang thing wrong with crop. Now, there are some legitimate reasons why some folks might want a full frame.
Yes.
There's also legitimate reasons why some people prefer a crop sensor.
I'm with you because that's what I am
For sports?
For sports, I want the crop sensor.
For shooting rockets?
For anything at a telephoto range, yeah. My best shots are the close-up shots are always crop sensors.
Crop sensor. I'm telling you, there's plenty of reasons why
full
crop
frame
sensors are
on the
awesome.
wide end when you're doing landscapes, big foreground stuff like that. Yes, that's where the full frame comes in. But yeah, there's a lot of times when a crop sensor is preferred.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay, I have a demo for my next one. I'm going to do one while we're waiting for yours. We got one ready.
This is good.
All right. So let me open this image here. Hold on. All right. So my complaint, my unpopular thing, is this: taking a random shot of a guy in a city street and converting it to black and white doesn't make it art. It doesn't make it a good photo. It doesn't make you a street photographer. Look.
No, but do it.
Watch. No, watch.
Do it.
Wait.
Oh, it's
unbelievable.
beautiful.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, it's art.
Art.
And,
it is art.
This is it. Boom.
Give up.
Drop the mic. This
walk away.
This is a photo that I took of a guy in the city. It's a crap photo. There's nothing to it. It's not good light. He's not doing anything interesting. It's just a bad photo. And we see these every month on the grid where people just take a picture and they think, just because I took a picture of some random person, this is not a good photograph. And there's nothing you can do to it in Photoshop to make it a good Photoshop. Making it black and white does not make a crappy photo good. That is my unpopular opinion. If it's a crap photo, it's a crap photo in black and white.
But I'm telling you, if you took the logo on his hat and made it in color, that would have made it so much better.
Yeah, I think that's the next thing.
That's the next thing.
Spot color.
Yeah.
But anyway, selective color.
Selective color. It's
just
the best.
That's my thing.
Artistic.
When people take a crap photo and they think if I make it black and white, all of a sudden it becomes good. This has nothing in it that makes it good. It has none of the things that makes and that's the other thing. And my unpopular opinion is most of street photography looks like this. I'm not saying that there aren't great street photographers, but most of them take shots like this crap that I took.
That is a total snapshot.
That's a typical snapshot of someone who says they're a street photographer.
It's that though. You have to get to your point with your eye where you know that as a photographer that's just nothing.
You know, Jay Maisel has that book, Light, Gesture, and Color. And Jay talks about
I apply that to everything I shoot.
Hey, so I'm gonna do. Stick with me here. Stick with me.
I'm with you. You say Jay Maisel, so I'm with you.
Jay Maisel has that book, Light, Gesture, and Color. And what Jay supposes throughout the book, and in many ways, is look, for a shot to be awesome, there has to be something awesome about it. Is it beautiful light? Is it incredible light? Is there a gesture? Is the person doing something that's unusual?
Or the
you're not
thing
used
doing
to seeing?
something.
Or the thing is doing it? Or is there something just like you go,
remarkable?
What is going on there? Or is there amazing color? Like somebody's walking by holding a yellow umbrella in front of a bright red wall, and they're wearing a blue raincoat, where you just go, how did that happen? You know, like Dan Steinhardt.
Dan does great stuff with that.
Dan has a
color.
great shot of a woman standing waiting for a subway. And she has these tall socks on and they're yellow. And the subway going by that's blurry matches the same yellow, and it's just so awesome. The color there is terrific. Now, if you have a shot with amazing light or an amazing gesture or an amazing color, you have something. Take those together, take great light with maybe a great gesture, and man, have you got something. So I want to introduce you to a photographer you may or may not know. And when I see him, I go, heck yeah, Ali Rajabi.
Oh yeah,
Ali. Yeah. I just saw the picture. Scroll down. Right. Hold on. You just went past it.
I did.
Right there. There it is.
This one. Yeah, that's it. Right there.
All right. So take a look on Eric's screen. So this is one of Dan Steinhardt's, and look how the yellow line and her yellow stockings and the yellow of the moving thing and all. Like this is when Jay talks about color. Right,
That's
this
color.
Isn't light and it's not gesture, but it is color. And the juxtaposition of those things, you'd almost have to hire somebody to go, can you wear yellow socks and stand here? You know, it's that kind of stuff.
And Dano's stuff is just
Dano's
awesome.
stuff is great. Dano's stuff isn't just a guy sitting there at the, doing whatever. And you know what? Here's how I can tell you this is true. Because I was with Jay Maisel, who was like, the genius of street photography. And he says to me about Dano, he goes,
Look at this one.
Dano's got it. Look at that.
So it looks like a face when you look at
does.
it.
It so
it's
looks
just
like a
mop,
face.
but then there's color, and then there's just...
But can you imagine Jay Maisel talking about your photography and saying, he's got it?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
He's got it. And that's one. So,
Yeah.
So my unpopular opinion is it takes more than converting your stupid image into black and white to make it art. And go look. I'm going to go find Ali Rajabi's photo. Read some comments. I'm going to go find Ali.
Well, let's see. We got any comments or only questions? Let's see. Okay, so like Fernando. Well, I don't want to really jump on from this one. So let's think. What do we got? Okay, well, Bob's saying the only good camera has 2 memory card slots. I mean, right there. I mean, that's just, if you think that the thing that the reason you're not buying a camera, the thing that's holding you back or something is because you don't have 2 card slots, or if I had 2 card slots, I'd make better images, or if I had 2 card slots, or I need 2 card slots because my memory card's going to fail all the time. It's just not going to happen.
Hey, I got a good one for George's comment here. Hey, look, just take a look online here real quick, and you can see a couple of
It might.
Of these
Not going to.
Of his pictures. So I believe it was this one here that he won so many contests with. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's the light. It's the light. And
wish you could get it bigger.
Yeah, I wish I could get it bigger.
It's a great shot.
I know, and he's got a lot of great shots.
Yeah.
Here's another one. So he did a really cool thing, a series called The Dark of the Day. And he went and won the Hasselblad Masters contest. Now, you don't have to shoot on a Hasselblad to enter the contest. But anyway, but now he is a Hasselblad master, and he's published in the Hasselblad Masters book. His work is in there. And let me tell you, he's a great photographer. And if you look, he captures the light.
Well, Scott, it's because he shoots a Hasselblad.
Right. It's because he shoots a Hasselblad.
That's got to be it.
But anyway, I'm proud of him, and I think he's a great photographer.
One, right?
And he came here from Iran. He immigrated to the United States from Iran. And we met him years ago at Photoshop World in Orlando.
Yeah, I
He
remember.
got special permission to come from Iran, specifically to Photoshop. He came from Iran to Photoshop World and home. And then now he lives in New York City, where he's a Hasselblad master, and he's doing really well, and we're really proud of him. But he takes pictures that make you go, son of a gun. He takes pictures that win. He doesn't take just, here's a random guy, let's make it black and white, boom. All right. So, here we go. Fernando Santos, also known as Cheeky Nando, says, here's an unpopular opinion. 50 millimeter is not best for portraits. Fernando, I so agree with you. If you are not a master and careful as anything with a 50 millimeter, by default, a 50 millimeter distorts people's facial features. I've seen people make cool pictures.
With the 50,
I haven't seen people make pretty pictures. If you're trying to flatter your subject, do not use a 50 millimeter lens. Use an 85, 1.4, 1.8,
100,
use a 100,
70 to 200,
105, a 70 to 200, a 135. Use anything, but a 50 millimeter is not. And by the way, if you want to see what Fernando is talking about, go to Google and type in a 50 millimeter portrait plus distortion, and you will see people who have posted side by side pictures. Here's what a 50 millimeter looks like.
Yeah, you just need
Here's what a more flattering
You need to get out
like,
to that 85 or above.
And everybody wants to go, well, I want to use a 50 because it's $100 and it's 1.8 and all. But I've seen people that are successful with with taking photos of interesting people, like you know. But this leads us to a question I want to take after the break. So after the break, I want to talk about Mark Heaps' comment, because I'm 100% behind him on this one. But thank you for Nando, Cheeky Nando, and good evening to Lisbon.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
Stumped him.
We were messing with Juan on the break, as we often do as he counts us in, and Juan said 5 twice, counting down from 10. I'm just telling you, we heard it clear. 5 twice. So before the break, before we do go jump into that, Photoshop World is coming up at the end of the last day of this month, May 31st, June 1st and 2nd. It is not too late to go. If you want to go to photoshopworld.com, book a ticket, and we will see you at the end of this month. So grab a friend. It's fun to come to Photoshop World with somebody else.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Find a friend, come. You will have the best time of the year.
And if you don't have a friend, you're going to make a friend there. There's
if you come by yourself, you will not leave alone because we will basically find you friends.
Oh, yeah.
But there you go. East is coming up May 30th to June 1st. Las Vegas. We are doing Photoshop World August 21st through 23rd in Vegas. Both are going to be a blast. Come on out. And you can come out the end of this month.
Yep.
The end of this month. It's the end of this month. Hey, wee, woo. Hey, photoshopworld.com. Okay.
So before we took the break, you were talking about Mark Heaps.
Mark Heaps said, and to build on that, people shooting homeless people to make art. So there is basically, in the street photography, in the serious street photography community, there is an underlying, unwritten rule.
Unspoken rule.
You do not take photographs of homeless people. You are capitalizing, basically, on their plight. They're in a horrible place. They're in the worst place of their lives, and you're using it to take pictures. I mean, it's awful to do. I mean, these people are as down on their luck as you could possibly be. Now, if you're doing something to help them, if you're doing, I'm doing a project and I'm going to sell the prints and we're going to help these people, it's one thing, but
it's way different.
But that moves you into journalism and away from art.
Yeah.
And
that's a photojournalism. It's a little different. You're telling a story too about them or something.
And I even when I'm on my photo walks, sometimes I'll tell people, "Hey guys, we're going to see some homeless people on this route. Don't take shots of them. Don't exploit homeless people for your photography. It's not shoot. There's plenty of things to shoot.
Not cool.
You don't have to shoot people. It's not cool to shoot people down on their luck like that. It's sad. It's horrible. And don't do it. It's not right. So that's just and so thank you, Mark, for bringing that up. That's another unpopular opinion because there's a lot of people that like to shoot homeless people. But I don't think it's right. And the community in general, when they talk about it in forums, they're like, you'll always have that one. So here's how this is what I've learned about life.
Well, all these topics, you're always going to have those people.
No, but what it is the people that are defensive about it are the ones that do it.
Yeah.
Like if we're sitting here and we say you shouldn't shoot homeless people, it's exploiting them and all, you'll have somebody that argues it. The person that argues it is the person shooting the homeless people.
Yeah.
It's that person. It's it's like, it's not like you're thinking about it and thinking both sides of the coin. Nope. You're that person we're talking about. And so your response is to go say, well, I think you should be able to shoot them.
Yeah, definitely.
That's that person. All right.
So Tammy has one. Prime lenses are better than zoom.
I think there was a time that was true, but I think that's very outdated information. And so good on you, Tammy. I agree. I think that zoom lenses today are phenomenal. And I've talked about this on one of my tours, and the joke I used to make is, Joe McNally, you'll see Joe shooting, usually like a 24-70 is one of his favorite lenses, right? You'll see Joe shooting that. You ever look at Joe's photos and go, I don't know, they just don't look very sharp.
Ooh, that's actually one of mine. My peeves there.
Let's go to one of Eric's peeves. We got lots of great comments today.
My thing is stop obsessing over the stuff. I didn't use that word. That doesn't matter, right?
What is that stuff?
Is like sharpness, dynamic range, bokeh. Oh my gosh, bokeh. Or micro contrast. That's a new one. Micro contrast of your lens. Like if you're talking about these things, they don't matter as much as we're really making out. Like this whole thing, like, oh, what if you had a prime? Oh my gosh, like you really got to stop obsessing about that stuff. And I'm preaching to myself there too, because I do that same thing a lot of times.
But you know what, Eric? When was the last time you saw a photo? Now, we've seen photos that are out of focus.
Correct. All the time.
That's one thing. But when was the last time you saw an in-focus shot that looked really soft?
Never. And actually, that's what, if you have problems with sharpness, I would probably say you got to work on your focus more than what lens you're using.
Right.
Because
Focus
focus
technique,
technique with
technique.
even a kit lens. If I can get that kit lens focused and dialed in, that thing is sharp.
Yeah. But people do obsess about all this.
Obsess.
Chris says, unpopular opinion, sharpness is overrated. Here. Number one, we're going to sharpen in post anyway.
Yes.
And spending a tremendous amount of money for a lens that is this much sharper. Like, think about it. When was the last time you saw an in-focus photo that you said, it's just not as sharp as it should be? It's sharp, but it's not the level of sharp. Now, you may say it about your own stuff, but I don't look on Instagram and see people's pictures and go, I see some that are out of focus. But not when it's in focus do I go, they must have been
the
using
more
a
I
cheap
focus
lens.
on focus, the sharper my images get. It's when I focus on focus, my images get sharper. Not what lens I use.
Tammy has an unpopular opinion. Putting a starburst in your photo makes it a great photo.
No.
So Gary says, is this unpopular? You should only shoot with a wide lens to have beautiful landscapes.
Absolutely.
So in my new seminar, I talk about that. I'm not going to spoil it for the people who are coming out, but I talk about that very thing, and I explain why you should use a secondary lens. And I have great examples. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's a surprising. I don't think people think about it, and I'm going to make a case for it, and I think that you will see, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So I got one for you. And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion for a group of people. But Erik mentioned something that follows on to this. So what I've noticed...
I'm under the bus now.
No. You're. I'm taking the bad part. You'll take the good part.
Okay.
Because yours is about goodness and mine is about something else. Here's my unpopular opinion. Sony users have now become the most defensive photographers on the planet. Now, they went from becoming...
I'll agree with that
They
one.
went from somewhat arrogant to now incredibly defensive. For example, if I were to go to Facebook and I posted, I just ordered the Canon EOS R, you could count the seconds before a Sony user came and said, well, Scott, I'm just going to stick with my Canon AR7 III or whatever. We weren't talking about your camera. I never mentioned Sony. Sony people will be bang, 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 bang. They're almost like waiting for someone to say, I didn't buy a Sony, because they're freaked out. Here's why I think Sony users are so defensive, because they were the only ones that really made a mass market mirrorless. Now Canon makes them. Now Nikon makes them. They're both really good cameras. The Nikons are great. Everyone I know that has shot a Z6 or a Z7 loves them. Everybody I know that has the EOS R, that owns an EOS R, loves it. All of a sudden, a lot of these people left Nikon or Sony, Leica or Canon, to go to Sony, and now they're like, we went too early. Because there's a lot, you do give up a lot of things to go to Sony.
However, they just went to Sony,
those folks they jump on every forum, on every post to tell you why they're sticking with their Sony. I never said you should switch to the EOS R. I'm saying I switched to it now. But Erik brings up a really good point about how that has affected the Nikon and Canon communities. The Nikon and Canon communities used to be at war.
It definitely has.
It was
we were at war. It's like you would just go and you would get like beat. It was like we would get into fist fights over Nikon and Canon.
Nikon and Canon.
But since Sony came around, I've noticed this in my own.
It's true.
This is just my experience. I don't know other people's experiences, but the Nikon and Canon users almost have united and gone, we get it, right? You shoot Nikon, I shoot Canon. We're both, but these people over here,
Sony people, they're bad. So it is united the Nikon.
And I know
and
that's gonna piss off.
They are now like buddies now.
Sony people, I know.
You're like, you see somebody, you go, what do you got? A Nikon? You got the Nikon Z7? I got the EOS R.
All right.
And you go, you got a Sony? Here's the saying. There's only two things that Nikon and Canon users can agree on, and that is that the Sony photographer sucks. That's it.
Oh, that's unpopular.
They've come together. These are supposed to be unpopular.
Well, it's only unpopular
It's
with
only
what
unpopular.
percentage of people that
A small
actually...
percentage.
What's the percentage
have a
show that percentage
I have
of
a
that,
percentage for you. They just announced the World Press Association of photography winners for the year for 2018. I guess they announced the winners.
All the winners.
All the winners.
All the categories.
40-something% shot Canon. 30-something% shot Nikon. Only 2.4% of the winners were Sony shooters. Only 2.4%.
2.4.
2.4.
Like that's 1, 2.
2.
Not all the way to 3.
Not all the way to 3. So anyway,
Can't even round up to 3.
but these are the things. But this defensiveness of the Sony shooters, the most. And here's another reason why Sony shooters are defensive. And I'm blaming you, Sony. I'm looking at you, Sony. Can we go up one up? I can't go one up.
Oh, man.
What if I went over this way?
No, wait. One up.
What if I went over this way? Watch.
Oh, there he is.
I'm talking to you, Sony. Sony suckered the world into thinking that mirrorless cameras were going to be light and small. And for that, now that Sony users have bought them, and they're very expensive, and they realize when you put a decent lens in them, they're just as heavy as their DSLRs, that's on you, Sony. Back to the wide shot. Okay.
All right.
That's my Sony rant. Now, that being said, there's some things I really like about Sony cameras.
Yeah, they're great cameras.
I like their sensors. I think their sensors are awesome. There's things I don't like about it. I mean, I can choose,
their dynamic range.
I can choose any camera platform I
that
want.
I shouldn't obsess about.
I can shoot Nikon, or I can shoot Canon. I can shoot Sony. I can shoot Fuji. I can shoot Olympus. I can shoot whatever one I wanted. I'm not sponsored by Canon. I bought my EOS R from B&H. So, look, the one-up's on me now. I bought my EOS R. So, I can choose anyone I want, and I choose Sony. I choose Canon. But that doesn't mean that Sonys are bad or the Nikons are bad. I'm talking about Sony people. Sony people are bad. Not really. But you know what I mean. I was just kidding. Uh-oh.
Well, what? Wow.
Oh, we're getting some comments.
Wow.
The Sony people have been activated. They have been they're going to tell us how great their cameras are now.
That's it. We're done.
We're done.
We're done. Sony users unite.
Sony users have come together to go, wait a minute. Hey, I said these were unpopular opinions.
While we're on that, let's talk about another camera brand. There's one camera brand that I'm telling you.
Oh, not Leica.
Don't buy this camera brand and tell me how expensive your gear is and how good your shots are just because you bought this camera brand.
It's Leica.
Yep. Why?
Oh, can I wait? Leica is in F-Stopper's list. I got to get it
probably
for you.
is.
It
probably is.
Absolutely
it's
is.
It's like, actually, we had a comment right here. It said, unpopular opinion. You need a Leica for good street photography.
Leica, they have a great one on here. I got to find it. Leica, number 26. Leica is a status brand for rich hipsters.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I guess I call it acquaintance. I wouldn't call it like we don't shoot, but acquaintance.
An acquaintance.
And an acquaintance that shoots a Leica, and that's all they can talk about is their camera, the lens that they have, and how great it is, and
how good are their photos?
Oh, they're that one you showed. That's it. That one you showed. That's all of them. All of them are that. And you're like, you've spent $30,000 to produce that. Like, it's just because you bought it.
Let's take another look at. I don't think you're giving this shot its due, Eric. Let's go and hold on. It's good right there, but go. Well, wait. Boom.
Oh, but I tell you though, if you go back to
amazing.
contrast and check the contrast.
Oh, I can do the contrast.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah,
Let's go to, I'm in the wrong place.
pop the contrast there.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna pop the contrast and some clarity.
Oh yeah, that's
And,
it. Up, we're good.
And we're
good.
gonna set the white and black points a little bit here.
Art,
and
street photography.
Boom, done. Where do you send the trophy?
Where do you send the trophy?
You probably want an address on 118 Douglas Road East, Oldsmar, Florida, 34677. Attention, Scott. Black and white category winner. Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
Drop
Done.
the mic.
All right. When we come up next, if you're a Sony shooter, I think we're about to hear from you. So don't go
If you're a
away.
Sony shooter, we're never going to hear from you again.
Rick Salmon, Canon Explorer of Light, Kelby 1 instructor, author of 38 books. We're in Costa Rica on the Osa Peninsula, that National Geographic called the most biologically intense place on the planet. So I've explored the East Coast and the West Coast here, but the West Coast, the Osa Peninsula, this is totally amazing. The jungle is so thick, the rainforest is so thick, there's so many animals around. Our base camp for this trip was Crocodile Bay Resort. You know, these guys are amazing. It's a first-class resort. Try to meet Bryce Johnson and Brian Johnson, two of the partners there. These guys are not only great photographers, they're great people. You can learn a lot from both of them. To our naturalist, Dennis Atencio Valverde. He's an amazing guy. He's also a great photographer. You're going to learn about exposure. You're going to learn about composition. But what I really like about doing this class was how we weave in the importance of the conservation efforts of everyone that we've met here. It's awesome. You know, two more highlights of the trip were going to these ecological centers. One was the Osa Interactive Gardens, where we got some great pictures of some butterflies, and the other one was Latarde, where we got some amazing, really close-up pictures of the poison dart frog. So please check out my latest class on Kelby 1, Uncovering the Magic of the Rainforest. I'm Rick Salmon. I'll catch you later.
My name's Kirk Marsh, and I'm a clown in the circus turned photographer. This is going to be a great class about composite photography and how to make the surreal more real. So watching this class, I think is going to be really great for people because it teaches the way that you can simply composite things together. We're not building new worlds. We're not doing anything crazy like that. What we're doing is taking the area that you're in and locking down your camera, getting the lighting set, come up with an idea that you want to have shot, and then create a story from it. You're going to learn how to mask out objects. You're going to learn how to light. You're going to learn a little bit about posing, a little bit about all the different things that go into an image and a composite. We're going to mix ambient light with strobe light and figure out how to make that match what the mood is that I'd like to have for the image. We're gonna actually mix in some atmospherics as well. So I've got a little portable fog machine that I'm gonna use. It's gonna add a layer of haze into the image that really I feel makes things magical. In post-processing, what we're gonna do is combine the imagery that we created earlier through color gradients, through all the different layer masks. We're gonna go ahead and make these images really look like they were taken as one image without it looking like any Photoshop has happened. I use some textures, I use some gradients, I use color balance, I use a lot of different things, adjustment layers to make these images just pop just a little differently than the real world does. I feel like to craft a portrait is one thing, but to craft an entire story through photography is something that takes a little bit more effort. What I wanted to do was really embrace that story and be able to tell a full story in one image.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
These comments are priceless. Welcome back, everybody. Scott here with Erik, the K-Man, Kuna Man, Rocket Man, Kuna.
The Sony hater.
We're not Sony haters.
No, we're not.
No.
I love Sony. It is a great camera.
No, I really don't hate
It's a great
Sony.
camera.
I like it. I like them all. You know what I think? And somebody wrote this, and we're going to read her comment because you use the tool that's right for you.
Absolutely.
If you hold a Sony and you go, this is the one for me, then that is
More
the one for
power
you.
to you.
It doesn't affect me that you shoot Sony. In fact, I would say one thing that Sony has done that is a really good thing is because they came out with some very popular, good mirrorless cameras, it forced the rest of the industry to snap out of it. It's kind of like what Tesla did for electric cars. Tesla came out with this great electric car.
However, there's still not a good electric car compared to the S.
But there will be one day.
8 years. 8 years. You think somebody.
There will be one day. Don't
Somebody.
worry. Hey, what about the Jaguar I-Pace that only gets less than 200 miles?
Don't get me
Okay,
started.
and there's no charging network. But
we could
anyway,
have a whole show on that. But
hey, let's do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
But so Jessica says, okay, guys, I'm a Sony shooter, and I would never say that. Thank you, Jessica. That's great.
Awesome.
Also, I'm not a vegan and I don't do CrossFit training or anything. I'd rather see it the same way as religions. Everyone should do what they believe in, live and let live. We feel the same way.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
But that I don't want to. I hate seeing that Sony shooters have become so defensive. Like the fact that Nikon and Canon made mirrorless cameras will not threaten your Sony. It will make your Sony better.
Yeah, because it's only going to push Sony to do something.
Yeah, competition is what drives all this stuff. So I think it's great. Let's see. And Gene says, "Uh-oh, Scott, the Sony peeps are coming for you now. Watch out for the pitchforks and torches." Mark Rodriguez has got the
Mark has
tweet of the day.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody tweet this.
Mark says, "I only shoot homeless people with my Leica." That's
Boom.
totally Mark. Hey, Mark.
That's totally Mark. Hey, Mark. Rampton Kazemi. Hey, Rammy. How much do we love Rammy?
Oh, I love Ramy.
Is he speaking of Photoshop world?
He is.
I love Rammy.
Yeah, Ramy Kazemi.
He's the man. He says, does anybody mention that Sony is a consumer electronic company and not a camera manufacturer? Laughing out loud. That's mean-spirited. That's because he is a Nikon
He's
shooter.
a Nikon shooter.
But you know what?
You got to give him credit, or you got to give him some slack.
He's a Nikon shooter. Now he's my brother.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Nikon shooters, I love you.
Yeah.
And Nando says, I was going to get a Leica to go to the next level, and you're telling me it's not going to happen. Fernando, you do not need a Leica. It will not take you to the next level. It will only make you obnoxious to those around you because you'll be like, have you seen my Leica? My Leica, my Leica. Oh, God. All right. Let's
George
see.
is saying the best photographers shoot only JPEGs because they get it right in the camera.
Hey, George has got so George's unpopular opinion is that.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? Do you know that when you shoot JPEG, it processes your
cooking
photos.
the file.
It cooks the file. It adds sharpening. It adds contrast. It adds vibrance. It adds all these things just in the camera instead of on your computer.
Yeah, my analogy there is when you're shooting JPEG, it's like going to McDonald's and ordering a hamburger. You're just going to get the processed, burger out of a drive-through. Where it's like if you take the raw file and you take the burger and you cook it yourself and you cook it perfectly and you put the nice bun that you want, you put the cheese and maybe add bacon if you're into that.
Fromage.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get with a raw file.
All right, hey, I have a picture here of Serge Remeli, and Serge has a message for you. Here we go. Bonjour, madame et messieurs. Let's zoom in so you can really get.
You might have to go a little slower because of the frame rate difference.
Oh, yeah. Madame and Monsieur, it is me, Serge Remeli. You will notice that my Sony camera here in my hands is, how do you say in your country, out of focus. That is because all pictures taken with the Sony are a little bit out of focus. But I encourage you to come to my workshop in Paris, May 14th.
All right, it's going downhill now.
Yeah, and I had to turn it into a promo.
Yes.
That was from Serge, not me.
Yeah, Serge said it, not us.
Unpopular opinion. You have to do frequency separation and smooth skinning on every portrait. That's from Mark. So you know what I do with in regards to skin smoothing? I go and remove major blemishes and stuff first.
Right.
And then I decide if there needs to be any skin smoothing at all. And I'm more likely today not to do skin smoothing because a lot of times once you remove any really, just egregious, I don't know what you would call it, obvious blemishes, a lot of times you're like, well, it wasn't their skin that was so bad. It was just that they had uneven skin or blotchy skin. But there are times to use frequency separation, but there's a lot of photographers today that run it on every. It is a particular style of skin that when used right is a miracle. When used wrong, it is a trademark. It becomes your trademark, like every photo has frequency. So I agree with what Mark's saying that the popular opinion is everything must get frequency separation. The unpopular opinion is no. Be picky about it. All right, we have some winners.
Yeah,
we have some winners. All right.
So the landscape book, Glenn.
The landscape book.
Hewitt.
Glenn, you won a. Now, Glenn, we don't have our copies yet, so you're gonna have to sit still a little bit, but it will come to you just through osmosis. Somehow or another, it'll show up at your house. No, but give it a week or so. Maybe give it a couple of weeks for us to get our copies, because sometimes they reach the bookstores before we reach them. Next, Tammy won a Platypod Max. Boom.
Yep, a Max.
Boom.
Yep, that's
there you go. All righty.
Max.
Well, congratulations to you both, and we'll be sending those to you. All right.
And if you're a Sony user, welcome to your last show.
All right. Hey, one more thing before we blast out of here. I am speaking at the World Modeling Convention this June in London. So go to wmclondon.com. It's June 15th and 16th. It's at the Business Design Center in Islington, which is an awesome venue. But guys, can you reload that page so they can see what's going on here? Just hit refresh, because they have a little graphic that describes what's going on. So this summer in London, I'll do the voiceover. The Business Design Center will host the World Modeling Convention. It is set to bring together 800 modelists, 200 photographers, 200 makeup artists, 50 modeling agencies, 100 advertisers. The entire venue will be transformed into a magical world, including
Leica
themed decor
cameras.
studios, catwalks, networking areas, trains. I can't even read it that fast. Meet the right people and grow your network. 120 fashion shows, 4,500 photo shoots, 120 themed decor studios, 120 decor studios, after party at the O2. Hurry up, seats are limited. Seriously, though, this sounds like the coolest convention. When I got invited to speak at it, of course, I wanted to go and find out about it, and I thought, son of a gun, this is going to be amazing. I mean, it really is a shooter's conference. And one of the underlying things, I'm going to go find it and just read it to you, and then we're going to have to go. Let me go to... Let's say, so it was, what was it? WMC, World Modeling Convention, London.com. All right, and let's see what they said. The World Modeling Convention is a groundbreaking event with a strong ethical side that helps models, photographers, fashion designers, makeup artists, and hairstylists to collaborate together in just one weekend. It offers a unique experience with thousands of photo shoots, fashion shows, paid advertisements, educational and what was the other one? Educational programs and job interviews. But there was one thing I really liked, that they had a part of their deal. I got to figure out where it was, but we're running out of time. But anyway, Business Design Center, that's it right here. If you can see it on screen, is an amazing venue. Mm-hmm. And the O2, of course, is crazy. But I hope to see you there. It's going to be in June. So I'm doing my workshop in Paris. I'm going down to... where the lavender fields are, Provence area, down in southern France, and then I'm flying up to London to spend a few days. I'm going to have a get-together with friends of the Grid there in London, and what else? That's all I got.
That's what you got.
That's all I got. Hey, I do want to mention one more thing, because Mark Heaps said, tongue-in-cheek, unpopular opinion, that Photoshop World East or West is better than the other. They're not better. They're just different.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing I was going to say was Photoshop World. If you're going and you haven't gotten your hotel room, go to the Hyatt and get it right now. Go to photoshopworld.com, hit the travel page, because last year we sold out the entire Hyatt, and people were like, I can't
And everybody
stay
got
there.
mad at us.
Everybody,
the last
oh, why
2
there's no
weeks.
rooms left? Because you waited till the last minute. You can still come, but book your room right now so you get one of those rooms. That's it. It's the best place to stay. You will love it. Okay, beautiful people, time for me to go. Erik, you've been fabulous today. You've been fantastic. You've angered Sony users everywhere. Christina, we like Sony cameras, okay, but Christina said point blank for in the air, I hate Sony cameras and the people that use them. Her words, not mine. No, we're just kidding. It's Juan that really hates them.
Wow.
Anyway,
Strong.
Thanks to Dark Request in the director's
It's the digital
booth.
surgeon.
Juan
Surgeon.
underscore Juan.
Underscore Juan Alfonso.
We will catch you guys next week. No, I'll be in Indianapolis next week.
Yep.
So who's your guest?
Who knows?
Is it weird to do the show with a camera way up in the sky like that?
That's actually kind of cool.
Terry White will be here. You and Terry.
T. White.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsors. And thanks for this
Make it right.
unusual camera view. Hey, can you sweep over this way with it? Will it go this way? Let's see.
It should be interesting because Terry's a Nikon user.
Terry is a Nikon user. Yeah, we're still friends. You know why? Because we bonded together against Sony, our common enemy. Just having fun.
I don't know. It's just it keeps coming down and
Don't
then
you
it
have
goes
to get
back
your daughter
up.
or something?
I gotta go get my wife. She's coming back into the country.
Oh, your wife's coming back into the country
Hopefully.
from. Well, she was deported, right?
Yes. She'd make it back through.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, we got to go because once the camera's up that high, what else can you do? Nothing.
We'll be right back.